Imagine getting hit with a fine and even ending up with a criminal record just because you ignored a form in the mail. Sounds extreme, right? But that's exactly what could happen if Canadians refuse to complete the national census. And with May 12 now gone, a lot of people are asking the same question: what actually happens if you don't fill it out? Every few years, I think it's every 5 years, millions of Canadians receive a letter from Statistics Canada asking them to complete the national census. For some people, it takes just a few minutes online. For others, it feels annoying, intrusive, or easy to ignore. But here's the thing many Canadians don't realize: completing the census is not optional. It's actually required by law. And yes, there can be financial penalties if you refuse to do it. With May 12 officially gone, the census reference date, as we know, people across Canada have been scrambling to figure out whether they're actually late or already late and what the consequences really are. So let's break it down. First of all, May 12 is not technically a hard deadline. According to Statistics Canada, it's considered the reference date, meaning it's the point in time your information is based on. So if you miss May 12, don't panic. You can still complete and submit your questionnaire afterward. In fact, Statistics Canada says they encourage people to fill it out as soon as possible to meet their legal obligation. Now, here's where things get serious. The census form itself clearly states that participation is required under the Statistics Act. That means knowingly refusing to complete it, ignoring repeated requests, or deliberately providing false information can lead to penalties. And yes, fines are involved. If someone provides false or misleading information, they could face a fine of up to $500. But if a person outright refuses to complete the census, penalties can reportedly go even higher, up to $1,000 in some cases. And surprisingly, there's another consequence people really talk about: a criminal record. Now, before anyone panics, it's important to understand that these situations are relatively rare. Statistics Canada usually focuses on reminders, follow-ups, and encouraging compliance before moving toward legal action. Most people who forget simply receive additional notices or phone calls reminding them to complete the form. But legally speaking, refusing entirely can still carry consequences under Canadian law. Interestingly, one major change happened back in 2016. Before then, Canadians who refused to complete the census could theoretically face jail time. Yes, actual imprisonment. That policy sparked controversy for years, with critics arguing it was excessive punishment for refusing paperwork. Eventually, the federal government amended the law and removed the threat of prison. So today, nobody is going to jail over the census, but financial penalties still remain. And honestly, many Canadians are surprised to learn just how important census data actually is. The information collected helps governments decide where funding goes for things like hospitals, schools, public transit, housing, childcare, and emergency services. Businesses also use census data to determine where to open stores, hire workers, or expand services. Even local communities rely on census numbers to plan infrastructure and resources. In other words, the census shapes real-life decisions that affect millions of people. That's why the government takes participation seriously. Of course, not everyone agrees with mandatory participation. Some people raise privacy concerns. Others simply dislike the idea of being legally required to share personal household information. And every census cycle, debates reappear online about government overreach versus civic responsibility. But regardless of personal opinions, the law in Canada still requires residents to complete it. So if you haven't filled out your census form yet, the safest move is simple. Just complete it as soon as possible, because while most people won't suddenly receive a fine tomorrow morning, ignoring repeated requests entirely could eventually create unnecessary legal and financial headaches. And honestly, for something that usually takes less than 10 minutes online, it's probably not worth the risk. So guys, there you have it. It's census time. Go there, fill out your census. The government needs to know, what is going on. As they say to you, it takes care of hospitals, schools, you name it. A lot of facilities helps out people in the area. So it's good for the government to kind of understand. It's not big government watching you or whatever. Try not to look at it so in that way, but go there, do your census. The date is gone, but you still have time to still fill it out. So go and fill it out. Anyway, that's what I wanted to bring you. This is a status check report. We'll keep you updated on more situations like this or more information that may be necessary as it relates to the census. But I hope you learn a lot from it, and I hope you act on it.